You don't gotta take my, you don't gotta waste my precious time. Save it for a face that holds you by your waist when you start crying. You don't gotta take my, you don't gotta waste my precious time. Years go by.
I can't do it.
Okay.
We'll do it live.
Okay. No.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
Right.
Fucking thing sucks.
In 5, 4, 3.
Okay, hello everybody. I know I started a little early, but yeah, you guys know me. I'm just over here having a stroke. What's up, Mindhack, Jug the Goat, Angel Pavlov's dog, Zeralath, John Aside, Steve Sippos, Someone, Caden Christian, Hi Meatball, P. Thomas, Racine, Cooperus. All right, cool. What's up, guys? So, today I thought that I was gonna be able to cover multiple topics, but I'm not going to be able to. I'm not going to have enough time. It's going to take way too long. So, what I am going to do is we are just going to try to get through everything new that I have. And I do want to touch on some older stuff with the Aquinos because I regret to inform everybody, but in the spirit of honesty and the truth, L. Ron Hubbard is, until I see proof otherwise, L. Ron Hubbard's not Michael Aquino's father. I did find Aquino's dad. Aquino. Don't at me. I did find him, and so I would like to show you guys what I found because, I mean, yeah, it's a anointed theory. I still think that everything is kind of sus. However, it is what it is. His dad is interesting. That's all I'll say. His dad is an interesting guy, and I've had a hard time finding stuff on his dad, so I just want to show you guys that way you guys can see. And hello, Deborah Evans. Who else did I miss? I hope I didn't miss anybody. John Rutherford and the CIA runs Drug Cartel 666. Yeah, I love that username. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and run the intro, and we will get into it. Sorry, I had to bring back that classic because I need a little disco energy, a little snow and disco vibe because researching all of this is a real hellscape. Hello, Solace Bellator and Jay Mortis and AT Thunder and Jack Whiteside. CLO, hello, it's so nice to see you. All right, I think I'm all caught up. Okay, so first thing is first that I'm going to say because like this is my first time streaming in like a hot minute, right? Is that I'm I don't really care how people want me to do things. Hello, Dream Date Charlie. It's so nice to see you. I don't really care how people want me to do things. They want me to make things, more concise, whatever. But like, honestly, I'm getting back to what I'm into. And so I'm going to do things my way. And I know that sometimes I get distracted. I admittedly have a squirrel brain. I'm the first one to address it. And also, like, I don't like ignoring everybody. I don't like trying to perform for YouTube. Like, fuck YouTube, quite frankly. Um, because, we've been able, I'd say we, it's the royal we, right? But also, like, we've been able to work together, especially those that have been here for a long time, to, get this information out there to, follow up on loose ends, whatever the case may be. So I just kind of want to get back to that where, like, I don't give a fuck what you guys want me to do or what you think. Okay. That's goes across the board. All right. Who else did I miss? Tara Jackson. Hello. And R the Carpenter. Hello. Oh, well, thank you. Hello. Thank you so much. Okay. Sorry. All right. So, what we are going to do, this is not going to be in fantastic order because I honestly really bad migraine, but I wanted to do a bit of a refresher on some of this because I haven't talked about this in a long time. And obviously, I can. What's up, Soil Lodge? That's what I'm saying, man. Yeah, the OGs. Like, we're getting back to the OG style where we're straight vibing. And I don't care if we're going for 2 hours. And if I sat there and cut it, it only cut down to 45 minutes of like me sitting here going through actual research. Now, one of the like most viewed videos, and it's not about views, but obviously it's a topic that people are interested in, is the stuff about Michael Aquino's first marriage, right? And the stuff about his mom. Now, we've already covered some of that stuff, but I have found some additional information that I I'm not going to read through all of this again. I just want to show you guys because I found like a passport of his mother's. I found the wedding announcement, which I didn't have last time because a lot of the California newspapers have updated, and this is also why I was able to find the stuff about his dad. Because if you guys have looked in my community section or you've been on my Twitter or my X, then you've seen that I found the photo of Michael with his father, and that is his dad. And the firm that his dad worked for is like super sus. But let me go ahead and get this pulled up. And P. Thomas, I hope that I said hello. All right, come on, don't be gay. All right, so like I said, we're not going to go through all of this again, right? We know, for those who don't know from the last stream, mom, Michael Aquino's mother, and him and his dad are at the home of his future wife in Utah, who is a Mormon, and mom is making a bronze statue of his future wife's head. That's what's going on here, okay? Just so you know. For those who haven't watched that. All right, so let's see if I can zoom in here. So this is right here from the Sunday Herald, December 28th, 1952. That is his future wife's head being cast by his mother, which is just, that picture's never gonna sit right with me. I think that it's just I don't understand the whole, I think it was an arranged marriage. I don't really know, but I mean, who knows? I have no idea. But I just wanted to highlight some things. So, she studied in Europe under the great Colby, and also her work was exhibited during the San Francisco World Fair and Exposition. Obviously, I think that that's pretty sus, right? And also, as many of you know, subliminal jihad touched this years ago. She worked for KPFA radio. That's super sus. And, obviously that was funded by the Ford Foundation. So, propaganda much? Yeah, propaganda much. But right here, so I did find the wedding announcement. So this is from the San Francisco News, March 1st, 1943. And apparently they got married at a Swedenborgian church. I didn't know that. So I thought that that was kind of weird. Sorry. And right here, I have her well, this isn't like passports were different back then. It's these weird little slips, but I at least have her passport number now. So I just thought that that was interesting. I wanted to show you guys. That way we can at least kind of wrap that up. Let me see what slide is next. All right, so this is the birth announcement for Michael Archie. Because guess what? His nickname was Archie. Do you think it's because of his eyebrows? Because I do. But right here, okay, so this is from the San Francisco News, October 22nd, 1946. So birth announcements, Mrs. and Mr. Michael A. Ford Aquino, October 16th, son. Now, I want to ask you guys something before we move forward because I kind of feel stupid about this and I really didn't care to dig into it. Is it like a royal, not royal, okay, that's not the right word. Like powerful family where the man would take on the wife's name because the dad takes on Ford, which is weird. It makes sense that she's Betty Ford Aquino, right? Like that makes sense. Well, Marion, but you know, Betty Ford Aquino, like that makes sense. But the fact that the dad takes it on, I've never seen an example of that, and so I just thought that it was kind of strange. I don't know what people's thoughts are about that. Like, I don't really know if it means anything. I just think that it's weird and it could just be because it's a different time, I don't really know, but I just wanted to bring that up because I just thought it was odd. Like, I guess I didn't really pay attention to it last time where I'm like, why is the dad adopting, the hyphenated name? I mean, obviously, I think the Ford name holds some power and probably the Aquino name. I have no idea. But now, I'm not getting into the Lewis Terman crap because, quite frankly, I don't really care. It's not really worth the time. But as many of you know, Michael's mother, she was a student of Lewis Terman. I just thought that this follow up from the Star Weekly from October 16th, I think that's 1948. That's not his mother. I just thought that it was interesting where he's listing out. So he had 1,400 subjects and some of the people that he's listing, he's talking about plastic surgeons, the oceanographer who had a prominent role in the Bikini Atom bomb test, the woman metallurgist with several import patents, the man in the State Department, the brigadier general. Obviously, they're not naming a lot of people. That's fine. I do think that this is interesting, though. So apparently, Professor Norris E. Bradbury, a Stanford physicist and director of the Los Alamos National Atomic Energy Lab. He was a Lewis Terman, I don't know what you would say, acolyte, Shelley Mydans, and obviously Mrs. Betty Ford Aquino. So I just thought that that was interesting. Not too much to write home about. I don't really care about it too much in particular. Now, this is literally just the same thing from the last time that we discussed the topic. Okay, so we're talking about the weird stuff with, the LDS and the fact that Betty Ford, before she becomes Betty Ford Aquino, it sounds like she's kind of like the rat lines, sort of like we got out of the last train out of Germany, like they weren't tipped off, right? And this is something within the LDS. The saints during the war, they kind of have a similar narrative because, again, we're not going like super deep on his first wife today, but they are a powerful LDS family. So, and right here, this is the dad taking on Ford Aquino, right? So this is one of the finance firms. that he was joining at that time. Now, this finance firm in particular, so this newspaper article, the San Francisco Examiner from December of 1945, so that's like immediately post war. Right. So obviously, I have some questions about that. And we're going to return to that here shortly. But let me just go ahead and stop sharing this for a second. I don't want to let the chat get too crazy over here. What up, Pimp Big Pimp D? Hello. Something else is here. Hello, Power Lies, Nixon Bogaine. Yeah, everywhere you look, it's matters of national security. Yeah, Ford was probably into the Nazis. Yeah, she was a termite. Yep. No, not the same Betty Ford clinic. Nope. But I mean, tomato, tomato, right? It's I don't know. I mean, I've covered her family before. It's the what is it? Her dad, so it would be Michael's grandfather, invented the Ford stitch, and he allegedly like slit his throat with like a razor blade while he was shaving. This is the story that they tell. I think that somebody murdered him. This is just my humble opinion though. All right, now let's go ahead and let's continue because we're going to return to dad's job. We're going to come back to that and look at that firm because there is an odd connection to what people would know as the octopus. But let's go ahead and let's keep looking. So, again, a lot of this stuff was not available previously, so I am happy to share it. And also, this one is just, I don't know, it's weird. Okay, so obviously it says Aguino. That's not right. However, this is the census from 1950. Okay, 1950. Betty Ford is on there, and Michael's on there, the dad. Where is little Michael? Where is he at? Because this is his parents. So where is their child? It's kind of fucking weird, guys. I've looked everywhere, everywhere, and I can't find him. It's very odd because he's already born at this time. So I definitely think, obviously, we all know that Michael Aquino, he has major ties to the intelligence community. If they wanted to, completely hide his record, they could. Obviously, they haven't hidden everything, but I do think that it's odd, even on the physical census, that he is not listed. I think that that's strange. All right, so this I also wanted to include. I think that I may have just kind of browsed over this the last time. I don't really care about it, if I'm being honest. It's an article from the San Francisco Examiner, February 27th, 1955. So the Michael Ford Aquino, Betty Aquino, and then Michael Jr., this is their house. They're doing this renovation. She was really into interior decorating and was in the newspapers quite a bit over that. And then right here, so she's listed as a sculptor, and then he is listed as an investment counselor right there. And again, with the house, so this is from the San Francisco News. This is August 1st, 1952. So, right here. This is Michael Aquino when he was 6 years old. It looks like low key. I don't know if it's just like me, maybe from this angle. He definitely low key has like that widow's peak already peeking out. I've never seen a picture of Michael that young, so I just thought that that was kind of cool. I wanted to show you guys. I don't really care what the article has to say. It's mostly just like talking about, their house and how they decorate, but that's the little one right there. There he is. Now, right here, so this is from the San Francisco Call Bulletin. Yeah, I think these are both from the same thing. All right, so one is from September of 1954 and then October of 1954, because no, I'm not going to sit here and read all of this crap. However, right there, so Michael and Betty, okay, and then right there, they call him Archie. And the dog's name is Thurber. Apparently, it was a Weimaraner. But that is Michael's childhood nickname, which I'm going to presume is, because of his eyebrows. I'm sorry. It was just very dystopian to see little baby Michael. I was like, what in the actual fuck is going on? Excuse my language. Sorry. Okay, let's go ahead and let's continue. All right, so we're just gonna keep moving on here because I'm not trying to like sit here and totally digress with the chat because again, I have a really bad headache. So, right here, this is from the San Francisco Call Bulletin, 1955, December. So, new executive members. So this is when Mom is joining the official board of KPFA. Very exciting stuff. And for those who are not familiar with the topic, I will have to defer you to subliminal jihad because, yeah, I'm not going to go into it today. This is pretty much, if you want to grab screenshots of this stuff and run with it, go nuts. Don't really care. Now, this I do think is very interesting. Very interesting. So, what we have here, Santa Barbara News Press. This is from December of 1959. So El Caserio, I've never heard of this before. I also don't live in California, so I don't really know why I would. However, so apparently this is like at that time similar to Greenwich Village, right? And this is where his dad moves to, I suppose one could say. And so I wanted to highlight this because apparently it's like they make it sound like it's very artist chic, and I'm not familiar with a lot of this stuff because a lot of this stuff is obviously quite dated. But Joan Cook and Roy Freeman lived on this street. Roy's parents were Don and Lydia Freeman, artists, authors of books for children, apparently very big authors. Also, a Texas oil man, they don't name who, a former actress, and AWVS Occupy. I don't know what that is, but right here, so it lists across the street in the Towered studio built in the 30s by the late violinist Roger White, an investment broker Michael Aquino, a San Francisco friend of the Freemans, has lately come to live accompanied by his son. I just think that it's interesting. Obviously, they have a lot of money, right? But I mean, the way that they make it sound, it's like, ooh, it's very chic, it's very fancy. Who else is over here? An Ebony Figure by Lenore. Okay, so they're talking about all these other artists. Yeah, so whatever, it's just a bunch of bougie artists. I just thought it was interesting. It kind of puts things into context, who dad is rubbing shoulders with, right? I find that stuff interesting. Now, let's stop here. Let me look at the chat, and then we will go back to dad's job before we get into young Michael, because now I know all the birthday parties, all the parties, all the everything. So it's what's up, old car? Now we have a lot more, which again, it is what it is, guys. L. Ron Hubbard's not his dad. I don't co-sign the conspiracy theory anymore. And it was just, a theory. It was a legitimate theory. This information was not available. And if you look on the official website for actually, Dream Date Charlie, you sent me the newspaper link, the California one. If you go on there, these newspapers from newspapers.com aren't even available on that website yet. They won't be released until September. So I don't know why they took this long to get these scanned in, but this is definitely information that was not available before. Even evil pricks once were children. Yeah, I would love to like see a clearer photo. Sorry guys, my allergies. I would love to see a clearer photo because I'm like, oh my god, like he's so little. Why did they call him Archie? Like, why did they call him that? Because do you imagine he has like the little bat wing eyebrows? He's like, I'm gonna fly away. He's little. Do you think that he was spooky and like goth when he was young? I have no idea. Obviously, I think like their whole family is a bunch of weirdos, but let's go ahead and see this pretty accurate for Santa Barbara. No trolls today. That's refreshing. That's great. I love that. And damn Nepo babies. Oh, he's totally a Nepo baby. Totally. Totally a Nepo baby. Beyond. Like, and again, I'm not taking it too far with dad today just because like I don't want to digress too much, and obviously I've got to get back into the swing of things, but yes, like he's totally like pinky up fancy, like processed fancy. Like, oh, my parents are super rich. Boo, 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 boo. Like, that makes Michael Aquino even more annoying, in my opinion. I'm like, come on. Are you kidding me? it was more interesting to think that Hubbard was his dad and that he came from some weird, like, sex magic ritual where Hubs was, like, jerking off on a stone or something while Jack Parsons was, I don't know, dancing in a circle and lighting a fire. I have no idea. Like, it was more interesting. But sometimes, the truth is it's still interesting, it's just kinda boring, and hello, Rise to Liberty, so nice to see you. I liked the old Papa Hubbard theory. I mean, yeah, it's I just I don't wanna sit there but I'm also not taking down the video. That's not going to happen. I'm not taking it down. I'm not removing any of that. I still think that there's a possibility. I mean, remember, there's a period of time where mom is in Utah with Archie without dad when they split up. And I have her in Utah prior to him being born. There's still that time gap. So it's still technically a possibility. I would just have to see like a DNA test, like 100%. I would need to see DNA, which like a couple of years ago, somebody like tried to like send me a DNA test of all of this to prove that Hubbard was his dad. And magically, those people disappeared. So I don't really know what to tell anybody because I don't really know like where they would have gotten that information from. And I don't really know if they were related to that person or not. Aquino is test tube posterity. He represents homeless bohemian reimagined at Crotona. Well, I mean, he definitely had an ideological connection to Hubbard. I agree. I think that it is important. And again, there's still parallels to be had, right? I'm just not going to take it down. And hey, what's up, R. Murray? I didn't see you. Oh, hold on. Should I do the sound for everybody? Since R. Murray's here and I didn't see him, I'm going to do it just because I want to. Hold on.
Fuck your life. Bing bong.
I love that so much. It makes me so happy. Thank you for making me think of that. And also, that's what you should hear in your head when you think of Dan Bongino. I call him Bing Bong. All right, so let me quit fucking yapping and wet my whistle, and then we'll get back into it. All right. Sorry, guys. I'm going to go as long as I can today, but my head is killing me. So, all right, what did I say we were going to do? We are going to go back to Dad's job. So let me move back a couple of slides. I need to get you on my show soon for a Satanic Panic is Real installment. I'm down, dude. We're going to be on GCD on Friday, right? You're going to be there, yeah? Or am I not supposed to tell that? I'm not going to... I'm going to wait until you... Because I thought that we were going to be on there for sure on Friday. At least that's what was scheduled. I just haven't shared it yet. Well, I guess we're going to do little baby Michael. I only have like 1 or 2 new pictures of young Michael to show you. So, bing bong. Yep, get into it. Get into it. I hope it's stuck in your head. Fuck your life. Bing bong. Yep, that's what you should think of. All right, here we go. And obviously that guy's a meatball, but that's an acceptable meatball, okay? So, right here. This is from the Santa Barbara News Press, November 28th, 1964. McNall and Aquino get Scout Honor. Highest degree of the Order of the Arrow, National Society of Boy Scout Honor Campers, was conferred on Ralph McNall and Michael Aquino Jr. at ceremonies at Camp Drake last night and today. They were inducted as Vigil Honor members in a colorful ritual. An Eagle Scout, Aquino has served as National Secretary of the Knights of Dunamis. I thought it was the Knights of Dunamis? I have no idea. Dunamis, National Eagle Scout Society, active in the Order of the Arrow since 1960. Aquino has held several offices in Canalino Lodge, serving as editor of the Canalino Chronicle for 2 years and is currently deputy chief for Area 12E of the Order. A California Scholastic Federation life member at Santa Barbara High School, he is now attending UCSB. So isn't that fancy? I'm wondering if they're doing gay stuff with the lights on or off, probably both. Okay, so, and then we have over here, Santa Barbara News Press, March 13th, 1964, military ball planned by the ROTC. The annual military ball of the Reserves Officers Training Corps of Santa Barbara High School will take place tomorrow at the Montecito Country Club. So it's formal dance after passing under the traditional arch of crossed sabers. Uh-oh, we're crossing swords. Sounds a little gay. Provided by the ROTC Drill Kings, cadets and their guests will dance to the music of the checkmates. Cadet Colonel Michael Aquino is the chairman. Okay, that's fine. And over there, look at him. Excuse my French, but look at that fucking nerd. Okay, there he is. So, Santa Barbara News, May 16th, 1964. Aquino takes two special awards. Congratulated by Sergeant William D. Carey for winning two trophies during last night's 40th annual ROTC Field Day in Peabody Stadium at Santa Barbara High School. They wrote all of this stuff and only put his photo here, which I just thought was kind of weird because obviously I read it. I was like, okay, are they going to provide any interesting information? No, they're just listing off everybody else that won awards. So, not going to sit here and go through all of that. And here's another photo of a young Mike. Look at his eyebrows. You can see it. Look at it. You can see it right there. Look at it. All right. So that's again, same newspaper, November 29th. So there is Ralph McNall, and there he is as their vigil honor members. And in September of 1964, he was on a motorcycle and got into an accident and apparently got hit by a car that was taking a turn, didn't pay attention, and hit him. So I think that that's, you know, sometimes you wonder what the world would be like if things went a different way, if you catch my drift. And so here we arrive. This is June 21st, 1964, so I am still bouncing around within the year, but it is within the year. This is Michael and his father. Obviously, you can see the widow's peak kind of peeking through. But right here, they are plotting the itinerary of a future scouting trip. So his father, local investment advisor. And if anybody else, I'm curious, dad looks like Jordan Peterson to me, just like low key. I have not been able to find any other photos. But from this angle, I do think that he looks like Jordan Peterson. Let's see. I think that they are all down here on this side of the article. Mike Jr., so that's what they call him. Mike Jr., who was a colonel in the ROTC at SBHS, is National Secretary of the Knights of Dunamis. I know I'm pronouncing that wrong, and people are going to leave stupid comments. A National Eagle Scout organization. He plans to attend the organizational convention this summer in Washington, D.C. He is also area deputy chief of the Boy Scouts Order of the Arrow. Mike Sr. is a patron of Santa Barbara culture. His favorite recreation activities include swimming and sailing. Isn't that lovely? Look at him. It's just a young Aquino. Do you think that he was doing satanic stuff yet? I don't really know. One can't really say. It's not for me to know. I suppose that that's between him and God. But there he is again. So this is the following year. This is 1955. Let's see, he was installed as the national commander of the Knights of Dunamis. That's how I'm pronouncing it from now on. So don't at me. Again, this is the Eagle Scout Honor Society. He received a sword and gavel at the Knights National Conclave in Sacramento, 1964 graduate of Santa Barbara High School, and is the second Santa Barbaran to command the Knights. The first was Martin Zinn in 1960. He will serve as commander for 1 year. Thought that was kind of interesting. And right here, this is 1965. He is competing for military service and the Merchant Marine Academy. So right here, this is him, West Point. Michael Aquino, son of Mr. and Mrs. Michael A. Aquino, 924 Garden Street. Okay, so there we go. At least we're starting to be able to track some of his history because we weren't able to do this before. For those that want to sit here and be like, oh, none of this matters. Well, guess what? We weren't able to do some of this before. Okay, so now we can. So that's a good thing because we want to be able to track this nasty bastard, right? So over here we have, this is 1967. The Gazette Citizen, July of 1967. So 4 local men are attending Army Reserve Officers Training Corps summer camp at Fort Lewis, Washington. They are Charles Darrow, Michael Aquino Jr., son of Michael A. Aquino, and Betty Ford. So obviously, mom and dad are split up by this time. So we know that he's at Fort Lewis there. This is in July, ROTC camp, Cadet Michael Aquino. So it's only listing his father right here. But again, another announcement. Now, in regards to dad and his business, because before we move forward with this, I'm not a financial advisor. I don't give financial advice. I am a fucking bum, obviously. Okay. However, I just want you guys to see because we saw the one firm that dad was working for as a Ford Aquino taking on the mom's last name, right? 1945. And this firm that he found, not that he found, but this firm that he's a part of, I just want somebody smarter than me because I know that somebody smarter than me is watching to explain this to me because I hate ChatGPT. I think it's fucking stupid. I think that people depend on it way too much. And I'm just curious because this company is involved in investing in a lot of stuff. And some of the stuff sounds semi illegal, I'm not going to lie, but I also could be wrong. So, just putting it out there, any like financial experts, please feel free to chime in, but let's go ahead and hold on. Who did this? I knew Aquino was a weird fucker when I discovered him in my research years back. I thought you were going to say you knew Aquino. Dana has blown my original opinion of this piece of shit completely out of the motel since then. Well, thank you, Peyton Hibden. I'm not like here to tell anybody what to think, but it's like there are people that obviously who is it? Bitch Horowitz. Like Bitch Horowitz literally just wrote another like long article about Aquino and like, oh, like he's such a victim of the satanic panic. And I'm just like, dude, stop. I don't care what people think. The Army court said that he did what he did, that he did not prove that he did not do that stuff. It's not my problem. But again, it's like these are people that are arguing in bad faith. Okay? That is how I take that when you're not willing to address factual information. Just like the Mansonites and the fucking Processians who won't leave me alone on Twitter. And, retarded meatballs who want to sit there and make demands of me. But I'm not going to get into that right meow. Let's go ahead and let's continue. Okay, so right here. So this is the investor firm. Okay, so we're going to start over here on the right because I had to try and make this work. So this fella, I can't even remember who he reminds me of, but John Noble. So this is like 1959. So he's the new head at this time, right? That's all it is. So the Investors Research Fund. Right here, Michael A. Aquino, Secretary, Treasurer, and Director, and Senior Security Analyst. I don't know what type of security they would be doing at this time. Okay. I don't understand all of this, but it says John Robert Noble, general partner in IRC and president and a director of the fund, said the new company will be a diversified fund and the investment objective will be designed to seek pullable growth during market uptrends and protection of capital in declining markets. At the same time, the new fund announced that it has filed a registration statement with the Securities and Exchange Commission in Washington, D.C., covering a proposed public offering of, I'm just going to round that up to 500,000 shares of capital stock at a price to the public of $12 per share. Bach & Company will serve as the underwriter. Investors Research Company of Santa Barbara will be investment advisor to the fund. Okay, so that's that. Now let's go to this one because this is later that year, so August 11th. So they're holding a meeting. Wall Street came to Santa Barbara today. 50 shareholders representing 176,263, or a majority of the 325,000 shares outstanding in the 4-month-old Investors Research Fund Incorporated, held their first meeting here, coming from various parts of the Pacific Coast to the Recreation Center session. It was a get acquainted session presided over by John R. Noble, fund president, which had all the elements of a movie script. Professional stockbrokers, veteran investors, and housewives attended, with holdings ranging from $2 to $2,000 shares apiece. To 2,000 shares apiece. Jesus, guys, I told you I'm not going to last. I'm going to have a fucking stroke. The firm's shares first marketed on April 1st at $11.04 a share. Today stood at $11.51 bid and $12.53 asked. Along with the business of approving Price Waterhouse and Company as auditors and the investors research company headed by Noble and Jean Caloutes as investment advisors for the next year, the meeting approved a board of directors. Now, that's fine. I don't give a fuck about the board of directors, okay? But right here, talking about its history, Noble traced the short history of the fund, which began to be formulated 2 years ago but did not shape up legally until the first of the year. It took 72 hours to sell the first closed end shares, valued at just over $3 million, and on July 23rd, the fund went open ended and is valued at more than $4 million today. Questioning brought out that fund managers have closed out the holdings in Pan American and American Airlines, Beckman Instrument, Automatic Controls, Zenith, and Raytheon, while some shares were sold of Texas Instruments, Hoffman Electronics, Jones and Laughlin, Steel and Pitney Bowes Company, but shares of each of the latter are still in the fund's portfolio. What does this mean? I feel like it means something important, like, because, like, obviously, for like anybody that knows anything about Pan Am, it's like, dude, like, they were working with the fucking CIA, like, what the fuck? And obviously, like, Raytheon, yeah, American Airlines is sus too, obviously, Texas Instruments as well, but like, come on, like, Pan Am and Raytheon, it's like, what the fuck, dude? And they're saying that they're saying at this time, so dad is there. So this is all relevant to me. I just thought that it was weird, right? And this is also interesting. So, this is the following year, April of 1960. They were the only major technical fund in the West at this time. I don't know what this means. I think that it's interesting. Obviously, I also think that it's interesting that they were incorporated in Delaware. Why is everybody incorporating stuff in Delaware? I know why, but I'm just saying I think that it's weird. Obviously, Delaware's shady tax activity like goes back very far. And here, some of its other portfolio includes Litton Industries. That's that's the octopus stuff. That's weird. It's just weird. That's all I'm saying. And then Polaroid, yeah, sure, that's definitely strange. And there are, some power companies. I think it's kind of odd that they're controlling power companies on the opposite coast. I don't really know what everybody thinks about that. And again, hopefully somebody smarter is able to chime in on that at some point. Now let's go ahead and look at these two new photos of little Mike. So this is the one that was in the newspaper, right? So the flash is obviously much higher here. But then I had to zoom in on this one to figure out which one he was. But he's right there. Right there, that's him. And she's getting an eyeful, isn't she? I mean, Jesus, lady, keep it in your pants. Disgusting. Okay, so that's all I've got for that section for now. And we are going to continue before my head explodes. It's the state that must not be named. What, Delaware? What's up, Operation GCD and Dave? Hello, hello, Sea Witch. I don't know anything about anything financial, and quite frankly, no, I don't care to. I have zero interest in learning about any of that. But I just think that it's weird that this company jumps like so significantly. And it's like, okay, why are they controlling so many things? What does this mean? What does all of this mean? Someone explain it to me, please, for the love of God. I mean, not right this second, but I mean, obviously. So, with all of that, because hopefully I will remember to come back to it because I really want to get into Lilith's family as much as I can, before I completely fall out. Michael was a stockbroker, right? So, obviously, I think that the reality of who Michael's father is makes Michael's resume a little bit more interesting. He did work for Merrill Lynch, but his dad clearly has like some very serious connections. So I think that that's honestly just a little bit more interesting than Hubbard being his dad, but this is just my opinion. I'm just putting it out there. Hopefully, someone who's good with money or all about like historical finance, whatever that means, hopefully somebody can, chime in or leave a comment or email me. I don't care because what's up, Angel? Because I would actually like to come back to this because I still have to finish the genealogy on dad because I haven't been able to find a whole lot. But obviously, that's where, Michael gets his connections into finances. Now, let's go ahead. I'm going to have to work backwards with Lilith. Ugh. Because obviously, she is still alive. Hold on, let me fix this really quick. And damn it. What are you doing? Hold on, let me do this. That way I can do that. Give me a moment, guys, because I am retarded and I don't remember how to do any of this. Okay, I gotta get back in the groove. And I don't really care. Don't leave comments. Don't say that I drag on too much. I don't give a shit. If you get blocked, don't at me. Don't care. Don't email me. Not involved. Sounds like Aquino Sr. was involved in money laundering as the secretary and treasurer of that operation, aka the bookkeeper and accountant. Thank you, Operation GCD. Yeah, I don't know. It's just I'm not going to pretend to understand it. I just kind of think that it's odd. I think that it's weird, okay? So, many of you know that that Lilith's name before she became Lilith was Patricia Sinclair. I'm going to operate under the assumption that you guys know that. Okay? So hopefully that is a fair assumption. Because that is the only way that I was able to figure out who she is and where she comes from. And I'm going to have to roll it backwards. And unfortunately, what you're going to see with the name game is that it's very difficult because her first husband and two of his siblings do not exist on paper. Okay? I don't give a shit if Doomsday is coming. So, I mean, no offense, Mark Adams, like that's fine. I don't care. Hi, Todd Wood. Hello. Hi, Todd. All right, this is why I can't look at the chat. It's my fault because then I get distracted. All right. So, let me make this look like that and that look like that. All right, so. Would it surprise you that Lilith comes from a German family? And the name sounds very Nazi-esque. Because it does. Even in the old censuses, just like how little baby Michael, Archie, was missing from the 1950 census, also her first husband and two of his siblings are missing from their census. It is German, though. There is no question about it being German. And I wish that I had photos, but I do not. But let's go ahead and let's get into Lilith, because this is the very new. Okay, so this is the Certificate of Marriage in the Commonwealth of Virginia in Winchester. Okay, but right here, February 1960, 6th day. So, Louis J. Sinclair and present name of the bride, Patricia J. Rindfleisch. Rindfleisch. So that's Lilith's last name. Sounds a little bit Nazi-ish, doesn't it? Rindfleisch. Siegheil. Okay, obviously I'm kidding about that part. Anyways, so her old man, this guy, so it says he's 26, white, and single. Pay attention to the number of times previously married because that is going to be relevant because both of them say none. Okay. His father, also Lewis Sinclair, so we know that that's fun with the dads having the same names, right? Mother's maiden name, Mary E. Cordwell. They live in Buffalo, New York. And then Patricia J. Rindfleisch. So she was 19, white female, single, not previously married. And she was a seamstress. She was born in Johnstown, Pennsylvania. Her father, Karl Rindfleisch, and the mother's maiden name, Mary Jane Hummel. I don't know why they have both of their addresses listed at the same place on 14 Mariner Street, because obviously that's not accurate. And they got married in a Presbyterian church. That's not Fleisch. Am I saying it wrong, Sea Witch? It's not Fleisch, it's Fleisch. Oh, but wait, no, hold on, because we're gonna see other spellings where the I is moved. Because also it's misspelled everywhere. So I don't really know. Okay? It's really fun. You're getting the name wrong. Well, am I? I don't know. I guess I could. Rindfleisch. I'm not going to sit here and argue about the pronunciation of the name. I'm fucking over it with Aquino, and I'm also not going to give a shit about her. So, hey, what's up, Lisa G? Now, this is her sister, because her sister got married. Some of these are like the only, actual documents that I can pull. Fleisch. Oh, Rindfleisch. Rindfleisch. Like fleece, but fleisch. Thank you, Sea Witch. Okay, Rindfleisch. So her sister, Margaret Joyce Rindfleisch, got married to Larry Lee Alter in a Methodist church. Not that any of that matters as far as like what type of church, right? But there we have Carl Gus. Do you think it's Goose or Gus? Rindfleisch. And they list their address as 656 Sheridan Street, Johnstown, Pennsylvania, from December of 1960. Okay? That way we have that there. So, shit, I'm going the wrong way. Hold, please. Okay, so you see that, right? So, right here, this is the official record for Lewis and Patricia, okay, where they're getting married, right? So we got that. That's great. Everything matches as far as what we just saw on the official record. Now, right here, August 12th, 1966. The Buffalo News. 28 matrimonial decisions were announced Thursday in Supreme Court, resulting in the dissolution of 26 marriages. Justice Carlton A. Fisher authorized an annulment for Patricia Sinclair, 52 Burlington Avenue, from Lewis Sinclair, married February 6, 1960. That matches over here in Winchester. His prior marriage undissolved. This dude married her while he was already married. Okay? This dude was already married. Now, what's more savage, I feel like half bad. August 5th, 1966. So a week before, they had a daughter. Oh, we hate to see it. We hate to see it. Hoes in action. Hoes in action, okay? We hate to see it. Not that she's being a hoe, because she's definitely a hoe for the devil later. However, he was being a hoe. I think that that's very unfortunate. Okay, so that's that. Now let's go ahead and let's get into his family. Okay, because when you look this up, now look, this information, 26 years old in 1960, that does not match. A Lewis J. Sinclair Jr., it does not make, right? None of that matches. And there is no listing of a spouse. Okay. There's another Lewis J. Sinclair Jr. Now here is senior. So this would be grandpa. This would be Lilith's first father-in-law, Lewis Sinclair Sr. Right here, these kids are all private. So there are two brothers and a sister that they have unlisted. One of these is Lilith's first husband. Obviously, I think that that is probably to, like protect her identity to an extent, I suppose. I don't really know. And this is from the incorrect one. This is from one of his brothers. He was in the Air Force. He was discharged in April of 1951, and he died in 1983. Because again, you have to think about how old would he be? He would be 33. Yeah, he would have been 33 at the time of marrying her, which is not accurate. But obviously, her first husband was able to pull off some stuff, right? Because he was already married when he met her and got married to her. So who has more connections? I don't really know. I've tried to figure this out. I've tried to spell the name differently. I've done all of the sort of like genealogy sort of games that one can do, and there's nothing there. There's absolutely nothing there that I can find. I'm probably going to have to wait for the rest of the stuff to populate into the archives because, like, newspapers is uploading quite often. But that is that side of, who she gets married to. So now what we're going to do is we are going to get into, and now you are going to see the discrepancies with the spelling of the name of Rind. I'm going to assume that it is Fleece. Now we're going to look at the discrepancies of that, and then I think that I'm going to have to tap out because of my headache. I'm really sorry, guys, but it's not like we don't have a lot to get through. So let's go ahead and go here. So this is from the census from 1950. So this one, it has an extra S and there's no C, there's no H. So I don't really know, but there's Carl. Okay. And obviously these were handwritten at the time, right? So there is some room for spelling errors, so to speak. Okay. But right here, she is 9 years old. Her sister Margaret, remember we saw Margaret Joyce, her marriage certificate. Okay. So Mary and Carl is the mom. So here is his registration card. Okay. Carl Gust. This is how he spells it. So would it still be Fleisch? Or would it be Fleisch? I think it would be Fleisch. I think it would be Rind Fleisch. Okay. So he was working at the Franklin Mills Bethlehem Steel Company. And there is Mary Ethel Rind Fleisch. Okay. So that's him. And here is his obituary that gives you literally absolutely nothing. Okay, so he died at the age of 65, August of 1980 in Pennsylvania. All it lists is parents, spouse, and siblings. So isn't that fun? Notice the different spelling for her as well, okay? All these spelling games, because look, right here, that's supposed to be his dad. SCH, right? SCH. So I don't know. It's a super fun name game, okay? This stuff's not fun. And when you do look them up, it does like the weird family finder thing or family tree finder, whatever. And then this one, I thought it was unique looking, this website, Ancient Faces, because it was a little bit different. But this is all that there is. Carl and Mary, they lived in Johnstown, Cambria County, and it just gives when they were born and when they died. She died at 64 in July of 1979. So obviously a bit younger. And then you guys saw that his parents were George and Minnie, or Wilhelmina, which is a very German name. So that's their application for marriage license. This I pulled off of Find a Grave. Somebody was kind enough to upload this stuff onto Find a Grave. I was very surprised. So this is the Johnstown Daily Tribune, the 26th of April, 1937. So George, so this would be grandpa for Lilith. Yep, because there's her dad. So he passed away from asthma. And right here, so birthplace, Germany. Germany. Okay. So there's no question. It's German. Okay. Wife, her maiden name, I believe it's Hartfield. I could be wrong. We'll see. Yeah, she's German too. So you have German Hartfield. And right here, she died on November 15th, 1937. Okay, so they got married in Pennsylvania. This is all from Find a Grave. Uh, she spells it with the SCH, but the dad doesn't, so I don't fucking know. She died of breast cancer, obviously. I think that that's sad. And right here, this is the family search. This is the one that I was talking about. So, just like a brief breakdown of her life, if I click on anything, it tries to get me to sign up, and I'm not going to do that. Okay. Now, the Hartfield name sounded a little sus to me, not gonna lie, but didn't get there. Didn't get to all of it. Again, my time has been kind of limited, and I didn't want to get on too much of a rabbit trail. But again, there is another reminder of that. So let's keep rolling. So right here, Patricia J. Sinclair, Buffalo Courier Express, October 10th, 1962. Apparently, she was a plaid stamp winner. Very exciting. And then right here, we also have her August 27th, 1964, in regards to a chattel mortgage. I have no idea what that means. Again, I'm not a financial advisor, nor do I play one on TV. But right here, this is something, whoops, excuse me, I hit the microphone, that I had shared on my X a little while back. So this is from the Santa Barbara Independent, October 29th, 1976. Michael Aquino, you are become Magus, what is this, fifth degree of the Aeon of Set. I have no idea. It's so gay. Anyway, so he's 30 years old at this time, a former stockbroker, and the father of a 5-year-old son. That's right, because him and his Mormon wife had children as well. And I'm not going to get into, because it doesn't get into all of the stuff here, but the son of an Italian Catholic father and a Protestant mother, he was baptized as a Lutheran, but rarely attended church services as a child. Although he played the part of the first wise man in his third grade Christmas play, his religious interest, he recalls, leaned more towards the occult. So he's saying in third grade that he was out there. Do you think he was killing animals? He probably was, right? We have the whole argument for the dark triad thing, right? So he's probably out there killing animals, maybe burning stuff. I don't know if he wet his bed or not. Obviously, we can't get that information from his family. I hope I haven't missed anybody. I really have not been looking at the chat. I'm trying to burn through some of this, but um I don't know about Illuminati bloodlines. I have no idea. I have no idea. Sorry guys. I I can't. There's like stuff with John Todd that people got really weird with me on Twitter, and people think that like John Todd is, definitely like not a charlatan in any way, shape, or form, and I would disagree. I think that people can tell truths and make accurate observations, and they can still be disingenuous or have bad motivations, and I don't really have any sympathy for thank you. Yes, girly chattel means things you own. Thank you. I didn't look it up. I'm not trying to learn more about finances. Maybe I should, then maybe I wouldn't be a fucking hillbilly, right? Um, this is why I'm gonna die alone. Anyways, what was I talking about? Fuck. I gotta think for a second. Um, oh, John Todd. I'll get there. Okay, so with the cases against him in regards to the diddling of kids, right? Because I found the newspapers were like, he's getting arrested for that stuff. And they were like, oh, like you're just using Wikipedia. And I'm like, actually, I literally didn't look at Wikipedia. I was looking for the process because I did find the process connection to John Todd, which is like, okay, but it's like, no, I'm not looking at Wikipedia. This stuff is in the newspapers. He was arrested more than once. He very clearly had a predilection for underage girls, aka, he's a fucking pedophile. Sorry, I don't care. Like, why am I gonna sit here and criticize someone like Michael Aquino, but not equally criticize someone like John Todd? And for people who want to sit there and make that delineation, I hope that you understand that you're reacting out of emotion and you're not making the judgment in good faith. Again, A broken clock can be right twice a day. Charles Manson, crazier than rat shit, right? But a broken clock can be right twice a day. Charlie made a lot of accurate observations. Some observations that there's like no way he would have been able to objectively make unless he was present or was knowledgeable of those things within the time frame that he is referring to, right? But he was also running a child prostitution ring out of Hollywood. Okay? That's what Charles Manson really was. He was running a child prostitution ring that was blackmailing Hollywood. So, we can say Charlie was right about certain things. He was also batshit crazy. He also abused kids. That's what we're going to call it, because that's what it is. And then we have John Todd, who maybe crazy, maybe not. I don't really know. Made some accurate observations. Also said a lot of crazy stuff. Definitely abused kids, right? And then we have Michael Aquino, who thinks that he's or thought that he was smarter than everybody else. Was he suicided? Don't really know. But as far as the stuff with kids, people say, "Oh, show proof that he did it." Well, the army court thought that he did, right? And that's what I'm going based off of, because it was only taken off of Lilith's record, not anybody else's. So, Bitch Horowitz and all these other simps, whether it's a John Todd simp, which is so ironic because it's the people that are like, "Oh, I want to like expose SRA, like satanic ritual abuse." And I'm like, do you though? Because that dude fucking diddled kids. So why don't you at least present that information objectively? I don't give a shit if Fritz Springmeier, quoted John Todd, because someone tried to use that. Sorry, I'm going to end my rant soon. That seemed like a reliable source. And it's like when you actually read what Fritz Springmeier said, it's like, it's his feelings. He thinks that John Todd is being genuine. He thinks, he feels, he could be wrong, but this is what he thinks, and that's okay. We're allowed to make judgments of people. Everybody judges, whether they want to admit it or not. We all do it every single day. You're judging me right now, right? You're judging me, and that's okay. I might be judging some of you. I'm definitely mostly judging myself, but I'm just saying my point stands. You can make judgments and allow people to still have all of the available information. And the people that want to sit here and simp one way or the other, it's like, no, I'm good. You're being disingenuous. And especially within like the SRA community, because that community is such a hot fucking mess. I'm over it. Like, don't. I said I wouldn't talk about it until second to last day before I quit YouTube, so I'm going to shut the fuck up. All right, I feel like my head is going to explode, so we are going to look at, because I haven't even gotten into why I looked at this, because I have all of this stuff about the Staten Island Church of Satan location that Lilith was opening up, because I know I have not made the next episode about Cropsey yet. I know. I'm trying to get back into it, guys. It's just Cropsey was really dark, and the stuff with like some of the Epstein files, it was too much at one time, and it made me very depressed. I'm not gonna lie. I had to kind of like just walk away from the topic and do some like mind numbing listening to God knows what that was not involved with that, because just for those who have not listened to the podcast, which is fine, Josh Zeman left out a lot in Cropsey, and when I say a lot, I mean a lot. I can't even really begin to touch on it, and I think I'm probably like 4 or 5 hours into Cropsey, and I haven't even gotten to Holly Ann Hughes yet, which is the second in line, timeline-wise, victim. There's so much that he leaves out. It's not just the process. I want to be able to come back and talk about all of that, But when I was digging through everything that was going on Staten Island, in the time leading up to, because Josh obviously, Josh started a YouTube channel, which actually I think that that's why the retard balding gardener, I think that that's actually why that he's trying to like get more views or like drag me, is because he doesn't want to bring up the fact that like Josh Zeman has a YouTube channel now and is doing the streaming thing, which I'm just like, that's great. Because Josh is out here selling fucking merch about Cropsey, again, making money off of the backs of dead and missing children, many of which he did not discuss, and his ultimate sin of omission, that the process did have a program at Willowbrook, a volunteer program that dates back to Alice Pereira, okay, to the first victim, right? Seems like a big sin of omission. And he also has merch that says Satan Island. So it seems like he's rubbing it in everybody's faces. But these are the people that you're supposed to take seriously, and you're supposed to assume that Mr. Zeman is definitely involved in the Gilgo Beach case for non-nefarious purposes, right? Because all of these actors out here, whether it's Netflix or YouTube, the internet in general, isn't it fascinating how like all of these actors end up simping for the state, right? And some of them are definitely like choking on the boots and balls of the NYPD. Yeah. Like the gardener, because his dad did PR for, law enforcement. For basically like all of the state of New York, all of the law enforcement agencies, right? It's not just Epstein adjacent, because again, I'm not going to apologize for something that I didn't say, because I never accused someone's dad of being involved with Epstein. Okay? But there's a lot of bootlicking that's been going on. And I don't really know what else is going on behind the scenes. But I did not want to cancel today's show. I would like to be able to come back when I'm feeling a bit better and make the rest as far as Staten Island and what prompted me to go back and look for Lilith, because Lilith was responsible for running everything for the Church of Satan out of the tri-state area at that time. So this is in the very early 70s, before her and Michael get together. Because that Santa Barbara newspaper, I think that was, 1976? I think they got together 2 years prior to that. But I have some really interesting articles to show you. I have some really interesting photos. I've tried to colorize them and make them modern, make it look a little bit more realistic. Yes, obviously I'm using AI. I'm not a fucking Photoshop expert. I've been doing this stuff with the process as well. If you've been on my Patreon, I think that it helps bring things to life, and it makes it more tenable in the now, because it's not just the process that we have to contend with on Staten Island in the timeline of Cropsey. And even Josh has to contend with the fact that Alice Pereira goes missing in 1972. Right? That's so far separated, but I've filled in the gaps of, I think I've found 5 other victims, roughly, that I've included in the Cropsey, timeline that Josh chose to omit for one reason or another. That would mean that we're dealing with not only the process, but also the Church of Satan. Whether her and Michael were, because Michael was in New York. Okay. So were they also fucking around there? I don't really know. I have no idea. Now, am I going to sit here and do double the work and like walk you guys through all of my research for the podcast? Absolutely not. You can go and listen to it. I work very hard on the podcast. I spend an ungodly amount of time. I try to make the sound really clean and really good. And I try to pick appropriate music for the topic. But I think I have like 3 or 4 episodes already on Willowbrook and Cropsey. So if you would like to go listen to that for the time being, and when I come back, we are going to focus on the Church of Satan on Staten Island. We're going to get like a refresher, sort of, in regards to, the process in Willowbrook, because it's been a really long time, right? It's been a really long time since we've brought that up. And I hadn't even watched Cropsey initially. Remember? It was you guys that told me that. You guys were like, we didn't see that in the documentary in Cropsey. And I'm like, well, what's Cropsey? Right? Things have changed. And there's things that I've wanted to address for a long time. I just didn't really know how I was going to prioritize it. But that's why I want to get back into the swing of things the way that I do it. And I don't care if I lose subscribers or whatever, or people bitch. Like, none of that ultimately matters to me. I just don't fucking care anymore. I want to get back to the way that I did things because it was important. I felt like I was, doing something, like I was making a difference. And then, like, when I started bending the knee to all these assholes, then it was like, or people were trying to get me to bend the knee and I was wasting my time arguing with them. I'm like, yeah, what's the fucking point? So I'm going to go back to doing things my way. It's YouTube. It's America. It's free for now. So you don't have to watch, and I also don't need your like thoughts about how I should do things in my comments. I really don't give a shit anymore. I'm not here to make friends, and I'm not here to necessarily be nice. I am here to present information because I have so much shit to show you guys, and I'm just not going to be able to get through all of it today. So this is going to be very short. I apologize, because I was hoping that I would be able to get my migraine under control, but I can't. And I love you guys, but I don't love you that much. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna end it here for now because I do not feel good. But I will talk to you guys very soon, and I hope that you all stay safe. And I just have to say it because I don't want people to think otherwise. Fuck Israel. Okay, have a